As far as you guys have had a few days now off, obviously since UWM, you've got that week in between games. Is it good to kind of work on you guys and just get in the gym and focus on the things
really
you got to get better at?
It's been real good. We took Sunday off, which was you have to take one day off per week. So if you rewind and you think about our previous week, we played on a Saturday. Typically Sunday is our day off. We practiced last Sunday in Kansas City, played Monday, played Tuesday. Mondays and Wednesdays are really bad for us relative to the fall academic schedule. And so we took off Wednesday, we took off yesterday, and it's been really good to focus on us. And I think we learned a lot of lessons from last week that we're able to put into effect this week.
Chris, we were talking with Chris about rebounding specifically. I think it's 3 straight games you guys have been beating the boards. What are you guys not doing, would you say?
Well, against Duke and Gonzaga, was really concerned about their transition points. So we only sent 2 to the offensive glass, which was the decrease in offensive rebounds. In the second half against Gonzaga, they scored 10 baskets, and 8 of them were on offensive putbacks. We're just not, the words we use are taking up space. When the shot goes up, we can't just turn and look, and we can't just turn and lean into our guy. We've literally got to take up the space between wherever it is I'm standing and whoever it is that I'm guarding on the release of the shot, not after the shot has been taken. And so we focused on that. We'll continue to focus on that. As I said to you before the season started, I think it will be our Achilles heel, good or bad.
How important it is to tell your kids to be ready for any opponent, whether they're a Longwood or whether they're a Duke, and not to take every opponent lightly.
Yeah, I think that probably happens at some places. I hope that it doesn't take place here relative to our culture. I think culture beats strategy all day long. And I think your culture has to be such that you're working to get better on a daily basis, regardless of your opponent. And I probably have went too fast with our team this year on our opponent and scouting reports and all of the things that we do relative to that. Our staff does a great job with that, but I think I've given them too much, and maybe to an extent it's sedated them relative to us. And so I've got to do a better job, but I hope that never comes into play here.
Upon further review, having been able to look at the film from Saturday night, what did you see out of Junior as the starter? What did you like? What does he need to work on, would you say?
Well, I think I probably went too fast on that too. I think Junior is the best on our team at creating for others. I think he's the worst perimeter player on our team at playing extended minutes on both ends of the floor as effectively as we need him to play. And instead of thinking about who's starting or getting caught up in all of that or thinking about who's finishing, I need to do a better job relative to our team of it's a 40-minute game, and what's the best rotation relative to our team that gives us our best chance over the course of 40 minutes, and the combinations of our players over those 40 minutes. I don't know that I would have played anybody more than I did in Kansas City. But what happens, Devontae specific, Joe specific, Devontae is straight 5, Joe is straight 4. Well, when you remove those guys, it almost makes Jimmy exclusively at the 4, and it splits Jay's time at the 4 and the 5. But when Chris can only play 3 minutes at a time without falling over, now Jay's minutes are increased at the 5, which means that Dwight Bikes' minutes are increased on the perimeter because Jimmy can never shift to the perimeter. And so one guy, 2 guys affect everybody. And so relative to our team, and I've told them this, I don't care who starts, I don't care who finishes, I want us to play a 40-minute game. And what's the best way for us to do that?
Was there anything that led to DJO's big game? Because you look at it and he hit a lot of outside jumpers, so on the surface you would say, well, he just hit his outside jumpers. But was there other factors that can give you confidence that this is going to continue as opposed to just a one?
DJ has a distinct spirit as a human being. He was raised exactly the way I'd want to raise my children. He's very caring. He's very kind. He is a nurturing person by nature, and he likes to be nurtured as well. And this has been the best thing for him, our culture. But at times it's been really hard on him because at times I'm not nurturing. I spend a lot of time with our guys. I spend a lot of time with DJ off the floor. He wants to be great. He doesn't want to be good. He wants to be great. And I think maybe initially he was probably putting too much pressure on himself, similar to what Czar did this time last year. Czar's shooting percentage wasn't as poor as Darius, but Czar felt like he had to take the brunt of what had departed. And I think DJO, partly because of his relationship with Czar, kind of had that same mantra that he was trying to take the brunt of it. He can't take the brunt of it. We have to take the brunt of it. And I think that obviously when you make shots, you feel a little better about yourself. But we need DJ to be that kind of player on both ends of the floor. And I think when he can become that, then he really, really dramatically helps our team.
Where do Devontae and Joe stand right now in terms of their recoveries, and do you think either or both might be able to play Saturday?
Joe's left knee is inflamed, and Devontae's shoulder is sprained. And as I've told you before, I may be the best guy in America to play for if you're hurt. Because I treat those guys just like I would my child. I don't see how you can be off for 8 days, and then we have the best trainer in the country, and then he says, okay, you're ready to go. And what we're doing in there is combat. I just don't think you go from, I've been doing all of these solo rehab exercises, and now I'm just ready to go fight. I don't think that's, I don't think they are. Joe has looked good in the no contact portions of practice. Devontae has yet to take part in that. Today we have officials coming, so Devontae and Joe, neither one will take part in that today. So now it goes to day before a game. Day before a game, we're going to practice less, and so I don't know. Then it goes back to your second question, Todd. I want to get in a rhythm relative to our team over a 40-minute game. And when those guys aren't in place, then the numbers are skewed relative to what I would desire them to be. So I want them to be healthy, but I want them to be 100% healthy because I do think both of them can help our team. But they can't help our team if Devontae doesn't want to fight somebody. And Joe can't help our team if he can't move. So we'll just keep progressing. They are progressing. Have they progressed to the point that I feel comfortable that they've earned the right to play? Not yet.
How far is Fort Worth from Van Alstyne?
How about that? Well, it depends on if you want to take the big road or the little road.
How about as the crow flies?
As the crow flies, about an hour, and from my house to TCU's campus, hour and 27 minutes.
Okay, so that being said, is that an exciting prospect for you, considering how much recruiting you do down there, how many ties you still have in the state, that school joining the Big East in a couple of years?
Yeah, I've had several texts and calls about it. Obviously, I had zero to do with their entry into our league. I think it's another attribute that we can sell. Hopefully, we play them every year, so occasionally maybe they'll be our mirror opponents. But are we going to have mirror opponents, and how is all that going to play out? But as long as we can play them closer to Christmas, that would be the best thing. That way I could take my kids, and it would be a free trip home. But yeah, that's good. I mean, the TCU job was open, Todd, a month before this job came open. And I do know a lot of people. I know the guy that was involved with the search, know the AD. He's now the president of the Carolina Panthers. So I don't know Coach Christian. I know who he is, but I don't know him. But yeah, it doesn't hurt. Whether or not it helps, I don't know, but it doesn't hurt.
It's a good thing too to be able to get the kids up here who you recruit from Texas back home. I mean,
well, at least when you say TCU, they recognize it.
Yeah.
They have familiarity with it. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to come to Marquette so that they can go home once every other year to play TCU.
Right,
but it's
part of
it's just another, like I said, another attribute. Hopefully that's positive. It won't be negative. It won't be negative. So.